Hello everybody, I hope you're well. Haven't been in here on a live for a while, and so just wanted to pop back in and give you a little update on everything that's going on. I want to share with you today how being of true service is the thing that is going to ultimately bring you the clients and the money and the life that you desire. And as I'm getting more and more into alignment, into service myself, I'm able to see more and more how to bring this to you. And so I've even pivoted a little bit as I've deepened an insight that I had recently. So I'm going to share that story with you so it'll make some sense. So as I was doing this 5-day experience, I started to notice in myself that I was feeling some old familiar feelings, some alarm bells, some love letters from God, which when you're in the thick of it, sometimes you don't notice, right? You don't realize what they are. So I was feeling a little bit of anxiety. I was feeling I couldn't sleep properly. I felt a little overwhelmed, and I felt really jittery and bloated in my body. And only in hindsight, after having a call with my coach Darren, did I see what that was and what that was indicating. And it was a total alarm bell to tell me that I was out of alignment. Now, it's interesting because having had a marketing background and having been in marketing and the world of marketing, having agencies and a whole lot for so long, it was, not even that long ago, maybe even less than a year ago, it was normal for me, and it was okay for my body to go out and do things like 5-day challenges and training series and all of that kind of stuff. But the more I aligned to love, the more I aligned to serving from a place of love and to simply loving clients into being, the less these things actually feel good for me. And this was my biggest take home from doing the 5-day experience. It's not to say that I didn't enjoy bringing everything to you. I did, with all the bottom of my heart. I loved it. But I'm seeing that it is not the way that works for me anymore. And the way that works for me is to just be working with clients, to be helping people, to be serving people, to be of service, because I've done so much work on being loving and living from a loving place, and so much work on, shifting, removing the obstacles that get in the way of that. And one of them was a huge one this week that I didn't even know I had, which came from childhood. And it was this notion, this story that I had told myself since I was probably less than 9 years old. I remember it at 9 years old, but I'm sure I was doing it before that. And that was that I needed to prove myself, not just at, not at anything in particular, but just at everything. Okay. But I won't go into the details right now, but maybe that's a story for another time. And what I saw was, even doing the 5-day experience, over giving, over delivering, giving all the details, all of that, and doing it in a way that didn't feel aligned to me. All of that was showing me that I had, we create everything that we're doing, right? So I was creating that. Who I was being was creating that. And who I was being was a person who felt that she needed to prove herself, okay? And it's not the first time that I've done this. I've done it over and over and over again. But I've also dropped into love and service and been from that place too, especially in the last 5 or 6 years. But it was really such a shift for me. It was such a, it gets to the point when you align to love so much, the alarm bell gets louder. You might only be out of alignment a little bit, but the alarm bell gets so loud, it's like screaming at you to say, this is not right for you. You need to get out of this way of doing things and go a different direction. And so I'm very blessed to have been able to switch that around very quickly, but also with the help of my coach Darren, seeing so clearly that I don't need to prove myself. I love myself for having that thought. I love the innocent child, Nicola, who was 9 years old the first time, her mother told her she was fat. And I felt I had to prove myself ever since then. And it wasn't just from that, but, again, not going into the story too much, but I love that. I loved it, loved that thought to death. I loved and forgave myself for spending almost 40 years being a girl who wasn't good enough, for being a girl who needed to prove herself. And it was so amazing to be able to let that go. So I spent a lot of the weekend journaling and just resting. I spent like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday just resting. Yesterday I spent the entire day lying on my bed watching movies, okay? And all the space that came to me and the calmness that came back to me reminded me of why I always talk about pleasure, why pleasure is so important, why being the diva. For me, it's being a diva. For you, it's something else, right? But for me, who I am being is the diva. That's who I need to be in order to create everything I want to create, in order to stay connected to that loving feeling and be the most loving person I can. So it was such a gift to be able to see that. And out of that sprung a divine idea. And this is the amazing thing, because I love when these ideas come, because they come from wisdom, they come from the divine, they don't come from something I conjured up. And I saw that I don't want to be doing 5-day challenges. I want to be serving. I want to be helping. A 5-day challenge will help you so far. It will give you a glimpse of what I do, and it's helpful. And I have a lot of content that I can share with people, even that I've already created, that I can always share again. Or maybe I can do something like that later on. I like doing Zoom calls and stuff like that, right? So, that'll all come again. But what I was seeing was what was right in front of me is a lot of people who would love to work with me, would love to be one of my infinite creators, not my infinite creators, but would love to be an infinite creator, one of the 8. And I've pushed the date off for that, by the way, until May for the start, because it wasn't the right time. I could see that there was a piece missing. There was a preceding piece that some people needed, that actually most of the people standing in front of me needed. And here's the crazy thing, because this is who I was being as well. And all of this is innocent. And I love myself for having this thought. And I had been to a lot of trainings, but I've done a lot of programs with a lot of really good coaches who teach you marketing, who teach you copy, who teach you all about how to attract the right clients. And a lot of that was in my head. And the most recent one was, and I think this is the story I was sharing with myself, I was telling myself over and over, was you need to speak to the person who's at this higher level, the person who is ready to step into your program. And, and if she's not, that's fine, let her go, or he. But because I'm aligning to love and being of service, and when you align to love, when you are loving, when you live lovingly, all you want to do is help people. I mean, like I see these kids in India and I'm just like, oh my God, my heart breaks for them, right? I speak to people who want to work with me and they don't have enough money and I can't help them because I don't have a program to help them. My heart breaks. And that's exactly what happened later last week. And so I created a program, a stepstone program. I created something to offer the people who are in front of me right now who need my help most. And those are the people who are stuck in scarcity, who don't even have enough money to get the help that they need, whether that's with me or anybody else. There's no obligation here, by the way, right? And I've made it like the cheapest I could possibly make it, just so that I can live myself, so I can put my own oxygen mask on, right? So I can fully show up and be of service, of true service. But I've also made it that if you can't even afford that amount, speak to me, because I can help you see something or we can do something about it. So Create from Love is what was born from this experience. And I'm doing it for 8 weeks. It's running live for 8 weeks. We start on March 7th, this day next week. And the vital thing is to show up live. I'm going to record the calls so that I'm going to be able to make it an evergreen program so that people can come in later and just watch the pre-recorded videos. And then I'll probably have like a Q&A. I don't know how often I'll do that, but right now we're starting it live together. I'd love everyone to be there live. So I have put some information about it. I created an offer letter with the information about it there. And I stress to you again that, although there's a price on it, if you don't have that and you need my help, please reach out to me and let's see what we can do, because I've made it as cheap as I possibly can, but I also understand that there are people out there that literally that is even a lot of money for them. And this is exactly the person that I want to help, because there's really no need to be in scarcity. And it doesn't come from what we think or where we think it's supposed to come from. Like all those marketing courses and coaches that I hired, I'm so knee-deep conditioned in marketing and sales. And I'm freaking brilliant at it. Like I'm so good at it. And I've got to decondition myself from it. And this is why doing this kind of 5-day challenges and sales and all of that stuff is feeling so bad for me right now, because the deeper I'm going into love and service, the less aligned that is with me, and the stronger the alarm signal is to me. And it's incredible to be able to see that, and for it to be so loud that it's just, we're divinely engineered to get back to well-being, right? So I'm actually going on a holiday. I got invited on a holiday, and some amazing miracles happened actually from this place as well, because they're cutting down a tree outside, which is really sad, but it has to go. But some amazing things happened. The moment I saw where who I was being was coming from, this 40 years of being this girl who needed to prove herself because her mom told her she was fat when she was a kid. The moment I saw that, here's what happened. I was feeling I couldn't get childcare, so I couldn't show up and do the work I wanted to do. I had 2 people show up and offer their services. One of them, who was cleaning my house, who overheard a conversation with me with a client the other day. Not that she was listening to the details, but just could realize what I was doing for a living, and said to me, oh my gosh, like my dream is to leave my job in the restaurant and to have my own childcare and cleaning business. And as a result of just being around me, I didn't even talk to her about it, like hardly at all, like for a few seconds. She called me up the next day and she said, I'm thinking about quitting my job because of you. You've inspired me, and I'm going to consider going out and cleaning, and then and childcare as well. And if you like, I can take care of Stella for you. And then a few hours later, I'm not kidding you, and this is not a joke, right? Stella and I have been co-creating this house on the beach, and she wants a unicorn. And we have a really good friend, 2 friends who are a couple, who moved away 4 months ago from the island, and we haven't seen them in 4 months. They were very close to us. They used to babysit for Stella. And I said to Stella, you know, just what does it feel like to have a unicorn? She said, it feels fun. I said, so be fun. And she said, but it's going to be a really long time before I get the unicorn. And I said, you'll be surprised at how fast things can happen. And I'm not kidding you, 5 minutes later, I was in the bedroom, Stella was in the living room, and I heard her laughing and squealing with delight. And I looked outside the door, and there was the couple who used to babysit for me. They're coming back to live here, and guess what they had with them? I need to show you this, actually. Wait a second. What do you think about that, right? 5 minutes later, a unicorn arrives, right? So there's more babysitting available. And I also decided I'd like to go back to singing again at night, because I really miss it. And they're my babysitters for nighttime, because Stella sleeps for them. And the last thing that happened is I met a beautiful man, a beautiful, conscious, lovely man, loving person who just walked into my life out of the blue. And I don't know where it's going to go, but it was something I've been calling in. And it was almost, I can see now how when we are misaligned and when we're caught up in our conditioning and when we don't do the work, and it's not a lot of work, people, it's like a couple of pages of writing. It's just seeing, first of all, having the help of somebody to help you see the block, because we don't see them ourselves. I had no idea that I was creating all of this mess. Not mess, but creating things that, you know, like it wasn't working. People were not coming and saying, I want to work with you in Infinite Creators. People were saying, I'm broke, right? And I was trying to figure out how I was creating this, because we create other people through ourselves. So I was creating people, you know, not being able to do the work that I wanted to share with them. And then my coach, John, said, well, you can create them. Look at what you have in front of you. Like, look at what is it about them that, you know, that they're not able to do. And I said, well, they're not able to make money. So how can I help them? What can I do? And this is where Create from Love came through. And it's like when you remove the blocks, everything falls into place. instantly. It's like opening a floodgate so that love flows. As John says, water flows downhill. Unicorns arrive, babysitters arrive, men, lovers arrive, clients arrive, money arrives. This is what being a magnet is. This is what being magnetic is. For me, this is being the diva. And this week, it's like, I don't need to do anything else. There's no more marketing to be done. There's no more sitting in front of the camera and listing out my 10 diva principles, which seemed like a great idea, and I know it was helpful, but it's not the thing that's going to help you. What's going to help you is getting with me for 90 minutes every week for 8 weeks, having 2 one-on-one calls with me for 60 minutes each, being in our group, WhatsApp group, where there's 24/7 support from me and your peers, okay? And being in a Facebook group where there's an opportunity to do this work that I do in my journaling in the group as well as in your journaling, to break past your blocks, to remove those blocks, first of all, to see them and to connect to love and to be of pure service and to be able to ask. So I'm asking you to receive my help. So attend the reading of the Create from Love PDF. Have a look at that. I'm not really going to do calls for this. There's really no need. Everything that's in there, unless you really would like to have a call with me. But it starts next Monday. I'm going away on holiday on Wednesday afternoon, so I'm probably not going to have much time for calls anyway, but I don't think it's necessary. Certainly not on my end. It's one of those things that if you really feel it, send me a message, send me a private message. And so read the PDF. Here's how I'm asking you to become a client, okay? And it's not that I'm asking you to become a client because I want your money. I'm asking you to make a major shift in who you are being in your life so that you can recreate yourself completely. You can stop being the person who's broke. You can stop being the person who's not making money from your business. You can stop being the person who's making money, but it's a big struggle for you to make that money. There's no need for that. And you can do it without marketing and sales. You can do it from pure love and service. And you can ask from a place of pure love and service. And this is where I'm asking you from today. So I'm asking you to attend this letter. By reading this letter, this is your attendance. To receive my help if it feels aligned to you, and to commit by making a payment. Now here's the deal with the payment. This is what I want to share with you about the payment. In my value system, my monetary value system, this program's worth €6,666. That's how much I should be charging for this. But I know most of you can't afford that. So I've put the price at €1,111 or 2 payments of €555. If you don't even have €555, reach out to me. If you have more than €1,111, let me know. And if you're willing to pay more so that the people who don't have it at all can come along and be part of this group, this is what I would love to ask of you all, that you choose how much you pay yourself. So the guide price is $1,111, let's put it that way. The upper limit is wherever you want it to be, and the lower limit is 0. I want anyone who wants to be in this group to do the work with me, because I am absolutely fully committed to being of full service for the next 8 weeks to you all of you that are here on this group. Reach out. And I'm sending you so much love, and thank you so much for listening to this message.